Lads, I'm going to be honest here. Apparently, Lin Dunn, according to the commentators, Lin Dunn is the GM of the Fever, especially with the talent Lin Dunn put around Caitlin Clark. Lin Dunn! The commentators talking about Lin Dunn. They're talking about Lin Dunn. And we watched a very concerning half of basketball from the Dallas Wings. I don't even mind Paige Bueckers. Every bad thing with Paige Bueckers can be explained away that it's her first game. Paige has actually been okay, but she hasn't done anything great. She hasn't done anything bad. Actually, in fairness, a great finish. What the hell has Lin done? What has Lin done other than give Katie Lou Samuelson a max? All I'm going to say is, the Katie Lou Samuelson, the Katie Lou Samuelson signing from Lin Dunn set the team back. Do you want to know what the only good thing Lin Dunn did was? Did such a bad job building in the 2023 offseason that they got back-to-back number 1 overall picks. What has Lin Dunn done? I don't want to say done. What has Lin done? Lin Dunn goofed bad by getting rid of Alana Smith, the perfect power forward to play beside Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. There is no more perfect player. There's no more perfect player than Alana Smith. And what did she do with Alana Smith? Cut her. She cut Alana Smith. You know who else would be a perfect bench player for this current Indiana Fever team? Emily Engstler. She cut Emily Engstler. And she's now getting credit. For putting together this Fever team. No, Lin Dunn is one of the GOATs. Lin Dunn is genuinely one of the GOATs. Someone saying here in my comment section, I have the Fever favorites to win it all. I don't have the Fever favorites to win it all. I have the Fever third favorites to win it all. And the Katie Lou Samuelson is a setback because they can only have 11 players on their team now. And they could have afforded, if they did not have Katie Lou's contract, they could have afforded another 150 grand free agent. They could have afforded anyone they wanted as a free agent. That was not a max player. Or they could have tried to convince a max player to play for less. They could have done so much. Lin Dunn also, by the way. You want to know what she did? Do you want to know what else she did? She cut Celeste Taylor instead of Victoria Saxon. When the team needed defense, the team talked about needing perimeter defense, and they cut their best perimeter defender for a player who sat on the end of the bench for 2 years. We are listening to people on commentary talking about Lin Dunn. Lin Dunn did not believing in the freaking 3-point line. Lin Dunn believing that Caitlin Clark was a shooting guard or not even a point guard. In fairness, I'm not going to say Lin Dunn didn't think Caitlin Clark was a good player. And I do think Lin Dunn figured it out pretty quickly. I think she figured it out quicker than Christy Sides. But she was there. I'm pretty sure she was there in those conferences where they talked about getting rid of Caitlin Clark's bad habits. The bad habits. People saying Lin Dunn couldn't manage a hot dog stand. No. We're not disrespecting Lin Dunn historically. We're not doing that. We are not disrespecting Lin Dunn as a coach. She's a champion coach. She put together a Seattle Storm team that became champions. Or at least were close enough to being champions. Did they win? Did they win in the 2000s? I think she did put together... Yeah, she did. Yeah, she put together the Seattle Storm team with Lauren Jackson, with Sue Bird. She put together that team. Let's not complain about her too much with that. She hired Christy Sides, and by the way, I mean this when I say this. Christy Sides did not want to take the job. Christy Sides knew she was not good enough to take this job, and Lin Dunn convinced her to take the job. Lin Dunn convinced a coach who didn't want to be there to take the job, who was out of her depth from day one, did not beat a team under 500 for a season and a half. Sorry, over 500 for a season and a half. Was completely out of her depth. And then Lin Dunn would not have fired her. Lin Dunn was talking everything. Like, Lin Dunn was genuinely talking about keeping Christy Sides, about all of this stuff, and she was going publicly saying we're having free agents contacting us, saying all this stuff publicly, which you don't want to say. You don't want to say. And also was talking about keeping Christy Sides. There's a reason why they got rid of Lin Dunn first, because Lin Dunn went on to fire Christy Sides. And we knew, if you look back in his channel, the second Lin Dunn was fired, you could hear, when they hired Amber Cox and Kelly Krauskopf was already there, you could hear them talking, and you want to know what they talked about. They talked about how good a person Christy Sides was, which means she's getting fired. Not one person in the Indiana Fever organization, other than Lin Dunn, said a single positive word about Christy Sides, the basketball coach. Said a single word. And she's now getting credit for what Amber Cox did. By the way, Lin Dunn, historically fantastic. Historically fantastic. We're not going to complain too much about that. She's been historically fantastic. But you know what? You know what? She employed the female version of... I pulled out the wrong thing there. She employed the female version of this Dallas Wings coach right now. Dallas Wings, like, we've had to deal with Christy Sides as a Fever fans. But I'm sorry. The Dallas Wings are having to deal with Chris Sides right now. They're having to deal with Chris Sides. What is their offensive tactic? I don't know. What is their defensive tactic? It looks to be get stops. It looks to be just get stops. They're not forcing, like... It looks to be just get stops. They are leaving Paige. They are leaving Paige open. They are literally leaving Paige Bueckers open, and Paige Bueckers is still not touching the ball. Paige is not getting the ball open for three, and they're leaving Paige Bueckers open. Like, this is what would have happened. We would have another year of this coach right here if Lin Dunn was still involved with the Fever. And we are hearing on commentary for this game that Lin Dunn put together the Fever team right now. That is crazy. That is crazy. Lin Dunn needs to go save Dallas. Lin Dunn, I don't even know. I don't even know if Lin Dunn would have put together as bad a roster as this Dallas Wings roster, with Chris Sides as a coach. And in fairness, I don't think Alyssa Smith's had a bad... she's not had a good game. She's not had the greatest game, let's be real. She started off well. She was terrible in that second quarter. But still, this looks like a Lin Dunn put together roster. A bunch of players, paint touches and all that, and ISO gods. Just, it doesn't look like a good put together roster, and that's on Kurt Miller.